beautiful, magnificent, famous, historic Tuscany in Italy, home, of course, of the Italian MotoGP, which did not take place this year. Indeed, it was replaced itself with the first ever Tuscan F1 Grand Prix, and this weekend we race round 5 of the 2020 Euroformula Championship here at the end of the Italian summer. Well, it's been a great weekend thus far. We had official practice on Friday. You just got a glimpse of the star of the weekend, Ben Barnicoat. He was quickest on Friday, consistently on a dry circuit, and then it rained. It rained and it rained. Up until around about an hour ago, the track has officially been declared wet. However, we have bolted on without exception. As I look out the commentary box window here on the start-finish line, towering above the main straight here at Mugello, we have bolted on Michelin slick tyres. You look at Zane Maloney, car 31 for Carlin Racing. The Zane train, the coolest kid from the Caribbean, derailed in the last few races. He was on the podium at Paul Ricard with a second place, still trying to break through for his first victory of 2020. All the way from Baltimore, Maryland, USA, just a few miles outside the American capital of Washington, which will become the center of the political universe in about 4 weeks' time. This is Cameron Dass. The American, car 28 for Team Motor Park. However, the story thus far of the weekend has been Ben Barnicoat. The 23-year-old from Derbyshire in England had nothing planned this weekend until the Carlin Racing team rang him on Monday night, said, "Ben, what are you doing?" He said, "Nothing." They said, "You are now. Pack your bags. You're racing with us." The Euroformula Championship this weekend at Mugello. This is the English driver's first ever visit to the Italian track, and he promptly parked his car 24 on pole position in a frenetic qualifying session this morning. Lucas Dunner on your screen. He qualified 4th, but he did win race 1 yesterday afternoon on a very wet circuit. Better conditions here this morning. This is Manuel Maldonado, the 20-year-old from Maracay in Venezuela, the South American. Yes, you know the surname. His cousin is Pastor Maldonado, the GP2 series champion of exactly 1 decade ago, and still the last driver ever to win a Formula One Grand Prix for the Williams Grand Prix team. That was in Spain, Barcelona, in 2012. Manuel, car 33, has to start way back on the grid this afternoon. So I get that wrong. He finished way back in qualifying. I got that wrong. He finished back in the qualifying order yesterday in the rain. He actually qualified 6th this morning, but didn't have a good run yesterday. He finished the race at the back of the field yesterday afternoon. Looking for a big performance from the Venezuelan. This is NK, car 4, Nicholas Gruten. German driver. As you look at Ben, these magnificent Dallara EF320 cars making their debut in the 2020 Euroformula Championship. Ben Barnicoat with a barnstorming lap to take pole position this morning on a drying track, just 0.2 of a second ahead of the series leader for Carlin Racing team, the team from Surrey in England, who have dominated in every category they have ever competed in. Well, with the possible exception of the IndyCar World Series, which they're competing in 2020, but it's early days for the British team on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean in that magnificent series. One of only 3 open wheel series. I'll explain what I mean by that. In the world, IndyCar, of course, open choice of engine along with Super Formula in Japan. And of course here, Euroformula. Yes, it's a Dallara EF320 chassis. It's a beautiful machine, but it's an open choice of engine, HWA based on the Mercedes and also the Space engine. Still a few moments away from the start. We'll take a look at the grid for you in a few moments' time. Yesterday, Lucas Dunner took his third win in a row. And he also won the first race of the series. This is the pole sitter, Ben Barnicoat, with a barnstorming lap to take pole position. 2015 British F4 champion, Formula Renault champion, 2012 KF2 European kart racing champion, having done many thousands of laps at his home circuit of PFI in England, north of London. Just brilliant his performance has been. Yifei, the championship leader, came home nervously in position 5 yesterday. Had his series lead cut marginally. He leads the series still on 229 points to Lucas Dunner, who won yesterday, as we said, his third race in a row after 2 victories last weekend at Monza and also the opening race of the season. 229 points to Yifei, 136 to Lucas Dunner. Andreas Essner starts out of grid 3. He's also third in the series on 115 points. Had a great podium yesterday. He's quick. The German for Van Amersfoort Racing is alongside yesterday's race winner for the Japanese-owned Crypto Tower Racing Team, working together with Moto Park, the 18-year-old from Vienna in Austria, Lucas Dunner, in white-hot form over the last few rounds. Second in the series as we pass the halfway point. Fifth on the grid is Sebastian Essner, 18 years of age. The younger of the 2 Essner brothers is Andreas. And Sebastian, you just heard VAR, his team engineer. The last 2 words, have fun. I'm sure he will. We hope you do too as you join us for our live coverage of race 11 of this 18-round Euroformula Championship for 2020. This is the fast South American Manuel Maldonado, 20 years of age from Maracay in Venezuela, living in London these days, as we take a look at the highlights of a very wet race 1 this time yesterday afternoon. Lucas Dunner streeted away. He had the advantage of being able to see simply where he was going. Essner in second place. Good run from Ido Cohen yesterday. Showed good glimpses of speed in the number 6. Cullen racing up to Lara. Did go off the circuit twice though. Finished down the order. Len Van Berlo following it through the gravel trap. Wasn't the first time those 2 drivers would come together. They actually crashed after the checkered flag, finishing in 7th and 8th positions. Lucas Dunner, the rain master yesterday. Nicholas Cruton was in 3rd place, withstood the challenge from Barnicoat for much of the race until he threw it off the road. Car 4 coming home position 4. Dunner took the win from Essner, and on debut is today's pole sitter, Ben Barnicoat, on what is officially a wet track, as you can see, but the sun thankfully has come out to shine. We welcome you to the home of the Tuscan F1 Grand Prix. This is race 11, round 5 of the 2020 Euroformula Championship. Welcome to Mugello here in bellissima Toscana, beautiful Tuscany. We take a look at the grid, qualifying this morning on a wet track. A barnstorming lap from Ben Barnicoat, pole position from the series leader Yifei from the People's Republic of China. Andreas Essner for Van Amersfoort Racing, yesterday's race winner. On the podium yesterday alongside yesterday's race winner Lucas Dunner. And it's Sebastian Essner, Manuel Maldonado, Nicholas Cruton, and the American Cameron Dass. We go back to the 5th row of the grid. Ido Cohen from Tel Aviv, the 19-year-old. He starts alongside the Zane train, watching on live. So many fans of Maloney from the Bushy Park circuit in Barbados. Alexander Bardignon, Glenn Van Berlo. And from Central Southern America, the Crypto Tower Racing, it is Rui Andrade. From Luanda in Angola. So the field set off on their formation lap on a rapidly drying track. It's only about 15 or 16 degrees Celsius here in Italy, the end of summer in the northern hemisphere. But on a drying track, setup will be absolutely critical running 6Ks, half an hour for one lap, until, well, I'll say it bluntly, too many deaths saw that track closed in 1970. Replaced by this 3 years later. It may be almost half a century in age, Mugello, but it is one of the finest, most modern circuits in the world. Owned by Ferrari, home of their 1000th F1 Grand Prix just a few weeks ago. Here at the home circuit of the prancing horse, well, the Mercedes team, they finished 1 on 2. Ferrari hoping to return the favour next weekend, the F1 Grand Prix in Germany. But for the moment, we're concentrating on race 2. Great to have your company. We welcome you to Mugello. The Euroformula Open Championship for 2020. The series that dates back to 2009, picking up from the former Spanish Formula 3 Championship. This series, absolutely beautiful cars, brand new for 2020. You look at the pole sitter, Ben Barnicoat. Tribex entry, moves up now into position 8. Edo Cohen from the Holy Land of Israel, the 19-year-old from Tel Aviv, like a rocket off the line. He's in 6th place for Carlin Racing, 2nd lap of the race. Barnicoat, Esna, Dana, Cruton, there's Yves, car 20. The championship leader, you get the sense that he's concentrating 2020 title. Somewhat nervously came home in 5th position. He's been so quick, lightning quick and aggressive throughout the series, but he's got an enormous lead over his teammate Lucas Dana, who is in 3rd place, and you just get the sense that Yves is starting to think about the championship as we go into the next few rounds of the series, including Spa on the 18th of October, Barcelona on the 1st of November, and the series final at the former Grand Prix circuit of Jarama outside Madrid in Spain on the 7th of November. Barnicoat, Esna, the Michelin tyres well and truly up to temperature. Despite the moisture still sitting on the top of the bitumen, there is no standing water. So the track is dry. The caveat with that though is, for the moment, it's getting dark once again. As the air goes through, there's Nicholas Hinke in Germany. And then Bella goes through, Hannah Maldonado, Maloney, cut 31. Cameron Das back to 11th is the American. Bardignon and William Andrade from Angola, car 99. Rounding out the field on this lap 3 of the race. They've completed 2, and Ben already has pulled away. He's done a 1:39.522. So around about 2 to 3 seconds off their dry weather time on Friday. In ideal conditions. And that was prior to the torrential thunderstorms that we've had over the last 24 to 36 hours. Storm Alex moving in down through southern France, the north of Italy, from over the Mediterranean in the last few days. Let's hope it stays away for the remaining few laps. As the field settles down now, they find the rhythm. Race 2 here this afternoon. This is the 11th race of the 18-race championship for 2020. Barnicoat, the lead is 0.7 of a second. Lucas is so close to the back of Andreas. Then we go back to Cruton in 4th place, but they go side by side. Dana around the outside. What a move! The Austrian goes through into 2nd place. Yves goes around the outside of Cruton at the same time, at the same corner. Car 4 goes back position 5. The series leader from the People's Republic of China, now up into 4th place, and with that valuable championship points. Lucas Dana, can he go 4 in a row? He won the last two races last weekend, 7 days ago in Monza. He won yesterday afternoon. He's in second place. The problem for the 18-year-old from Vienna in Austria is Ben Barnicoat, a late wildcard entry, has been absolutely brilliant. And he leads the way from the Austrian. There's Van Amersfoort Racing. Air driver Andreas. Ben runs off the road. Ben almost puts it into the wall, almost ends his race there and then. Wow! So lucky to keep it on the island was Ben Barnicoat. He had a lead of 1.4 seconds. You can virtually halve that now. Here comes Dunner. Almost threw it away, and that was almost the end of his race there and then. Nicholas goes through. Take a look at this, the replay of the move just a few moments ago for second place. Lucas Dunner around the outside of Andreas Estner at the same time. Yeah, exactly the same move, exactly the same corner, just 5 seconds later. To take Cruton, Ben, wow. All four wheels in the gravel. The WRC comes to Euroformula for a brief moment here at Mugello. Maldonado, car 33. On your screen for Team Motor Park, being chased by 31. That's the cool kid from the Caribbean, Zane Maloney. Last year's British F4 champion, also with Carlin Racing. In 10th place at the moment. He was on the podium at the first round of the series. Second round, in fact, the Paul Ricard, the first round in Hungary. Budapest was won by Lucas Dunner, their very first race for this new Dallara F320, which is also racing in the Super Formula Light Series over in Japan. The sister series to this, the European Championship, the Euroformula Open Series. So here them go down through the gearbox. Turn 15. Comes across the line. Fayet right up behind Andreas Estner now. They start lap 7 of 19. The Chinese driver around the outside of the Van Amersfoort Racing entry. Locks up. The right front goes through. Can Estner fight back? He just simply doesn't have the grip. In difficult conditions here this afternoon at the home of the Tuscan F1 Grand Prix. Host venue for this round 5. 2020 Euroformula Open Championship. Fayet now up into position 3. Estner back to 4. And it's Cruton. Cohen. Watch this. Got the toe. Around 236, 238 k's an hour. You can probably add 4 or 5 to that with the slipstream. Lightly locks up. The right front goes through. Estner for Van Amersfoort Racing back to 4. There's Team Moto Park. The legendary German team run by Timo Rumpfkehl. So successful in international open wheel motor racing over the last few seasons. Working together with Crypto Tower Racing, who are leading the series, but Ben Barnicoat for Carlin Racing, he leads the race. He's been caught though by Lucas Dunner. All of the racetrack, the pit lane entry, tries to break the toe, drives down the main straight, up the hill into turn 1, checks the mirrors, goes right, so efficient, so quick, and to be perfectly honest, so loud are these beautiful Dallara EF320 cars as well. They're so light and nimble, absolutely beautiful machines up close, and fabulous racing this afternoon. Dunner has caught Barnicoat. The fight is now on for the lead. Race 11 of 18 for 2020, the Euroformula Open Championship. Lucas Dunner, we asked the question a few laps ago. Can he go 4 in a row? At the moment, it's looking good for the Austrian. The battle for first place. Ben from Lucas. Yifei back in third. And it's Andreas and Nicholas. So the Englishman, the Austrian, and the Chinese driver. No, they didn't walk into a bar. That's not a joke. They run 1, 2, 3 here at Mugello. Dunner turns in ever so tightly. He's got that car 69 hooked up here this afternoon. Ben trying to keep it straight. You see the head lean, of course, massive G-forces generated by these open wheel cars. Not so much in the wet conditions as we go back through the pack. There's Nicholas Kruten, Andreas Essner. Two German drivers, run 4 and 5. Andreas, the older of the two Essner brothers from Munich, Bavaria, in southern Germany. Nicholas Kruten from the other end of the German nation, from Trier. Car 4, in position 5 at the moment, comes down the straight side by side. Kruten around the outside. Essner tries to tuck back in, won't do it. Nicely done by NK. Goes through and takes the place. Kruten from 7th on the grid. Was in 4th before Essner put him back to 5. Car 4 goes back to position 4. Kruten now 1 step off the podium. As we approach half race distance, that's the series leader, Yifei. That's the race leader, Ben Barnecoat. A one-off drive for the moment for the Carlin Racing team, pole position on a wet track in qualifying. Earlier on this morning by 0.2 of a second. And he's now got the lead in the race this afternoon by 0.4 of a second. That's the corner where he almost threw it away just a few moments ago. Coming out of Corantayo, turn 12, and then the series of S's, not that different to the S's over at Suzuka in Japan, and down into turn 15. The moisture still on the track. Look how Lucas turns in early. He's absolutely hooked up, and he'll get the benefit of the toe. Ben immediately goes left. He's got the experience. He's got the speed. He's got the talent. He's got position 1 at the moment. But Lucas Dunner, the Austrian, is coming for him. Gets the toe up the hill down into turn 1. Ben puts the 24 Carlin car right in the middle of the track. Lucas says no problem. I'll try the outside IndyCar style. Ben simply drives him into the grass. Barnecoat says, I'm P1. If you're going to go round me, you'll go the hard way. Lucas says no problem. I'll try again. Yifei, the series leader, is catching the both of them. The Euroformula Open Championship comes alive here at Mugello. Yifei now just 1.2 seconds behind the Austrian. The sky gets dark, and as we approach half race distance, we are being told from pit lane there is the chance of another shower imminently. The teams are down in pit lane. The wet tyres are ready. For the moment, we stay dry. This is sensational. Here in the beautiful rolling hills of Tuscany, but Barnecoat has no time to enjoy the view. Oh, that's a cliche, but you know it's true. He'll be getting a glimpse through his visor of the clouds rolling in overhead. Lucas Dunner just simply has to follow, although if he's not careful, he'll be caught by Yifei as well. Crypto Tower racing teammates 2 and 3. Again, he gets the toe. Ben pulls left. Ben pulls right. How sensational is this? Down the straight, 238 k's an hour. Add 4 or 5 to that. Lucas Dunner gets the toe, gets the slipstream. Around the outside, side by side. Down into turn 1. Ben holds him off. Lucas Dunner fights back. Nervous moments down for the Crypto Tower Racing Motorpark team in pit lane. Barnecoat, the 23-year-old from Derbyshire in England. He's the most experienced driver in the field. The McLaren Academy GT driver leads the race as Alexander Podium comes down into pit lane. He changes over to wet. It doesn't look a particularly quick stop for the Van Amersfoort racing team. Were they ready? By the looks of that, not quite, but he's the first in pit lane. He'll either be a hero or go to zero. Podium in pit lane. He's joined by Sebastian Esner. Podium rejoins the race. He's the first driver to put on the Michelin wets. Now it's raining. In fact, I'm sorry, it was Esner who rejoined. Podium still down in pit lane. Barnacote leads. It is raining here at Mugello. We had sunshine just a few moments ago. Throw the cat amongst the pigeons. The spanner in the works. Pick your own cliche. Wow, half race distance. The Euroformula Open Championship here at Mugello. And we get a rain shower. For the moment, it is just that light rain. Now starts to come alive. Sebastian Esner, Alexander Podium, they come into pit lane. Barnacote gambles, he stays out. Another of the VAR cars comes into pit lane, as does Maloney, as does Glenn Van Berlo in the background. Cruton goes through, the German stays out on wets. Team DriveX. They go to work for Glenn Van Berlo. There's Edo Cohen. Here's Andreas Esner, who has to pit. Was in the top three, remember, pulls into pit lane. Ben will be a hero. He will win this comfortably, or he'll come dead last. And as I look out the window, it is raining, but there is blue sky in the background. Can he hold on? He's got the talent, he's got the skill, he's got the experience, but it matters little when the heavens open. Barnacote just a few moments ago. Lucas Dunner controls the wheel spin. They're not the most powerful open wheel cars in the world, but they're still frighteningly quick. Quicker than for a quick comparison, comfortably quicker. First up than a MotoGP bike. I know that's not an exact comparison, but quicker than a DTM car as well by about 3 seconds around this circuit. Approximately, I haven't checked this, but around about LMP3, close to LMP2 speeds these cars are. Not that they've raced here in the recent past. Certainly just about every other category has, including A1GP, DTM as we mentioned, Formula 1, Formula 2, Formula 3. And of course, just about every category of motorcycle racing you can think of. So Barnacote stays out for the moment. It looks as though that's the right decision. So the Van Amersfoort racing team drivers, they pulled into pit lane. There's Maloney, he stayed out. Zane on the back of Manuel gets the tow. Maldonado checks his mirrors. You can see the sky in the background is threatening, but for the moment it stays dry. Barnacote, he was under immense pressure from Lucas Dunner, right on the rear wing of the 24 Carlin car, but now the lead has blown out to 1.4 seconds. Ben is finding grip where there is none. Around this circuit, still spray. Just remind you, they are Michelin slick tyres. Half the field, including the Van Amersfoort team racing drivers, Glenn Van Berlo, Edo Cohen, they've all gone on to the wets, and for the moment, well, that looks premature. It is raining very lightly. Lucas Dunner with 1:38.334. He's the fastest driver on the circuit. It was just a couple of tours ago. So Ben goes through. Lucas back in second. Faye in third. The track here at Mugello is so large from one end to the other. Well, the main straight itself is almost 1.2 kilometres. So a light rain shower at one end of the circuit doesn't necessarily mean the other end is dry. As you can see, as they come out of turn 15 onto that long main straight, which is longer than the runway at some small regional airports around the field, around the world, I should say. Coming up to put a lap on Rui Andrade, who elected to pit a few moments ago. This is Edo Cohen going wheel to wheel with Esner. around the outside, trying to stay with. For the moment, Andreas holds him off. Andreas in 9th place. Going right there with him then. Puts a lap on Ruiantra, gets the blue flag. Leaves space almost too much. Oh, he hasn't seen him, has he? Finally. Driver from Luanda. Central South Africa. Southern Africa, I should say. Goes the lap down, elected to pit on wets. For wets, doesn't look like that's been the right decision for the moment. We've still got the final third of the race to go. Ruiantra, an interesting story from Luanda in Angola. There's another lap driver. VAR cars lets the leaders go by. Luanda down in central southern Africa. The Luanda motor racing circuit built back in the early 1970s under Portuguese rule. Virtually a replica of Indianapolis. It still exists, would you believe? Visited, inaugurated by Emerson Fittipaldi almost half a century ago. Yeah, there is motor racing down in that part of the world. That is the home nation for Ruiantra. It says visit Angola on the side of his 99 car. Well, we'd love to, as soon as these restrictions around the world are lifted. Speaking of visiting beautiful places, this is the cool kid from the Caribbean, Zane Maloney, from Bridgetown, Barbados. He's in 5th place. Stayed out on slicks, and it looks as though that's the right choice. He's closing in on the back of Nicholas Cruton. As we count down the laps, we do have a 35-minute time limit. If we don't get the 19 laps in time, we haven't lost too much pace despite that rain shower, so we do expect. We are being told from race control that we do expect to go the full race distance. Indeed, you just got a glimpse of your screen getting that ever bit lighter. The sun, can you believe, has come out to shine here in Tuscany once again. It was raining 4 laps ago. Half the field pitted for wets at the moment. That looks like it was the wrong decision. Ben stayed out there. And he's got a lead now of almost 3 seconds. That's the corner, he almost threw it away though. A few moments ago. Coming out of Palacio. Corantayo, turn 12. These series of S's that go down into Puccine. Turn 15 and onto the straight. There's Dunner in the background, still in position. To the sun, can you believe, is coming out to shine. What a race, what a day. Here in Tuscany at the end of the Italian summer. Barnicoat back to Dana Yifayet, the series leader. He will leave Mugello going into the next round of the series at Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium in 2 weeks' time, still with that series lead, but will be cut down somewhat by his teammate, Lucas Dunner. This is Alex Podium, the 3rd generation French driver. Only 12th place at the moment. He was one who gambled, went on to wets earlier, it didn't pay off, it simply didn't rain enough. Ben stayed out there, he's pulled away, there's Lucas Dunner in 2nd place. Yifayet is in 3rd, and Nicholas is not that far behind. Team Crypto Tower Racing, they're sort of teammates. It's 10 motor apart for MK. Just got a glimpse of the blue and yellow Carlin Machine 31. There's the Zane train. The kid from the Caribbean steaming down the track. He's been derailed in the last few rounds, but wow, he's found pace at the right time of the afternoon. The beautiful rolling hills of Tuscany in the background, the sun comes out to shine. The track is wet, but it's drying once again. The Zane train on the charge, trying to chase down NK for position 4. Cruton goes through. Only a second behind the series leader, Yifayet. There's Maloney, has caught way up to Nicholas Cruton. Zane, who celebrated his 17th birthday here at the circuit on Friday. See the distance between himself and Cruton as they come across the line. 1.7 seconds. So for the moment, Cruton holds him off. Cameron Dass, just a few moments ago, going through, picking up the place. Manuel Maldonado, the North American, goes by the South American. Cameron Dass up into 7th place. Esner going slowly. The gamble did not pay off at Van Amersfoort Racing. You could say it was worth the try for Andreas Esner. He's lost a certain podium though. He's down in 9th place. And Ben Barnicoat opens up the lead. Now 4.4 seconds over Lucas Dunner. Unlikely to go 4 in a row, but a valuable bag of points. Down in pit lane, one of the VAR cars come in for that change to slicks. Alexander Bardignon, the 3rd generation racer, the French driver. Look at the sun shining now. It was raining a few moments ago. By that I mean, what, 10, 12 minutes ago? Look at the beautiful sunshine here at Mugello. Ben across the line one more time. Lucas Dunner has cut the lead last time. 3.5 seconds. I'll tell you what it is in just a moment. 3.4, so only a 10th. It won't be enough with 3 laps remaining at this rate. Lucas Dunner from Vienna in Austria, the city made famous by Mozart. Also competing in the FIA F3 Championship with MP Motorsport. Actually did a couple of LMP3 sports car races in the European Le Mans series as well. He won the very first race of the season, but you look at the Carlin team, they're looking at their first victory of 2020, the Euroformula Open Championship. You race here at Mugello, passing the halfway point of the series. Just reminding you from here, we go to Spa-Francorchamps, home of the Belgian F1 Grand Prix. That's October 18. Barcelona, home of the Grand Prix of Catalonia on the 1st of November. The former Grand Prix circuit outside the Spanish capital of Madrid on November 7. Big news coming in through the week. The provisional calendar for 2021 has been released. And yes, the famous Grand Prix of Pau in southwest France back on the calendar for Euroformula. So we go back to the battle for the final places here. As they come across the line, there is Ben. Lucas behind the gap. Oh, he's cut it down big time. Took a second out of the Englishman who's just controlling the pace. Ifayet, 3rd place. Cruton 4. Maloney still 5. Locks up down into turn 1. A moment there for Lucas. Bardignon pulls offline. The blue flags shown for the French driver has not been Alexandre's afternoon. Car 25 still circulating. But he is 3 laps down after a series of pit stops which simply did not pay off. The same can be said for Ido Cohen. He's about to be lapped as well. The driver from the Holy Land of Israel, the 19-year-old from Tel Aviv, for Carlin Racing, is about to be lapped by his teammate. Ben stayed out on Michelin slicks when it started raining. It was a gutsy decision, and it looks as though, for the moment, it's about to pay dividends for the 23-year-old McLaren GT Academy driver. Gets a lap put on him, he's still circulating in 8th place. Another driver who pitted for wets. Also going back onto slicks as Ben comes across the line. We believe for the second to final time. 1 lap now remaining. Ben Barnicoat, the wild card entry. The press release on Wednesday. Barnicoat to line up for Carlin Racing. He's been a revelation this weekend. We know he's a talented driver. A one-off drive at Silverstone in the FIA F3 Championship. At least he knew the corners, which way they went at Silverstone. This is his first time ever to the Mugello circuit. He's controlling the pace. He's being caught by Dunner. He finished third yesterday. He took pole position in the rain this morning. He's the race leader. He stayed out on slicks when it started raining. He's just half a lap away from victory. Lucas Dunner wants to go 4 in a row. The 18-year-old from Austria is catching Barnicoat. The sun comes out to shine. What a race this has been. Dunner was 4 seconds behind Ben. Controls the pace. Remember, Lucas will get the toe as they come out of turn 15. Turns in. Sideways on the exit. Lucas is reeling him in, hand over fist. Ben, can he hold on to take Carlin's first victory in Euroformula for 2020? They go down through turn 15 for the final time. What a weekend, a barnstorming lap, a barnstorming weekend for Ben Barnicoat. Takes the checkered flag and wins Euroformula. The first race of the season for the Carlin Motorsport team for 2020. What a weekend for the Englishman. Lucas across the line in second place from Yfayette. Nicholas Cruton, the Zane train, derailed in the last few rounds but comes storming home. He finishes in P5 ahead of Manuel Maldonado, the South American, ahead of the North American Cameron Dass. Glenn Van Berlo, the first of the drivers to have pitted for wet tyres and then consequently pit again back to slicks. He finishes in 8th from Edo Cohen and the two Esner brothers. But the story of the weekend, the McLaren GT Academy driver, what a weekend. Just reminding you, this is his first ever visit to Mugello. It's not the easiest track in the world to learn. 15 corners. Incredibly high G-forces in the dry, which we finally had at the end of the weekend as the sun comes out to shine, despite a rain shower halfway through. Ben Barnicoat, Carlin Racing, Euroformula Open Championship visit here in Mugello, and he's congratulated by his team, Carlin Racing, who have dominated in every motorsport category they have ever competed in. They take their first victory with the new Dallara EF320 for 2020 as well. Yifei pulls in third place, takes the series lead into Spa in 2 weeks' time, but there's your race winner. Lucas Dunner in second place, his championship well and truly on track. We'll let Ben take his helmet off and we'll try and get a word with the race winner in just a moment. Race winner, Ben Barnicoat, down in pit lane. We'll speak to him in just a moment. This is Yfayette championship leader still. Lucas Dunner, a win yesterday, second this afternoon. And Ben Barnicoat on debut in Euroformula for 2020 with a fabulous victory here this afternoon. Ben is down in pit lane.
Ben Barnicoat, winner of race 2 at Mugello. A very entertaining race, by the way.
Yeah, that's one way to describe it. It was yeah, really tough. we arrived here with the wet setup, and then the wind picked up a lot, and the sun was out, and the track dried super quick. So yeah, we didn't get time to get the full dry setup on the car. So yeah, I mean, Lucas had a definite pace advantage on me in the full dry conditions, but the rain came in the middle, and I guess my experience came into hand, managed to get a big gap again, and that gave me just enough margin for him at the end when he was on slicks in the dry running. So yeah, great thanks to the team. Carlin, obviously, the race pace wasn't the best there, but yeah, they gave me a great car in quali, and track position was the difference today and what got me the win.
And for you, of course, a perfect first weekend in the Euroformula.
Yeah, great. Obviously, didn't really know what to expect arriving to the weekend with it being my first time in the car in the series, but yeah, the pace in the wet was amazing, and on Friday in testing, the pace in the dry was also very good. So I'm sure had we have had the full dry setup on there, we would have been able to comfortably control it. So yeah, it's great to be here. I don't know if I'll be back, but like you said, great to get a win on my first week.
Well done. Enjoy the moment.
Thank you.
The highlights of race 2 here from Mugello. It was a bizarre start. The green flag going out right as the green lights went out at the same time, Ben from pole position. The Estner brothers going through down into turn 1. Ido Cohen made a great start like a rocket off the line in car 6. Still quite crazy. We all started on the Michelin slick tyres. Lucas Dunner going side by side with Estner, and the Austrian going through right behind him at the same corner just a few moments later. Yifei around the outside of Nicholas Cruton, and then Yifei would pick up Estner as well, going into third place, where the championship leader would ultimately finish. Barnicoat was caught by Lucas Dunner. It started raining halfway through the race. Half the field electing to gamble on the wet tyres. Ben stayed out. The rain cleared, the sun came out to shine. BB Ben Barnicoat from Derbyshire in England on debut in Euroformula wins the 11th race of the 18-round season for 2020. Nicholas, you can see he'll be on the podium. He's the top rookie here this weekend. Ben's far from a rookie. He is still only 23 years of age. An official McLaren driver. Used to racing in GTs and the magnificent McLaren sports cars, but he's come here at the last moment and taken a brilliant win from Lucas Dunner. Yifei, Nicholas 4th and the top rookie. Zane was 5, Manuel 6th. Good drive from the South American. In fact, started out of 6th on the grid. Despite all that, did Maldonado.
The amazing with this would be so nice. Just even in the rain, yeah, it's like crazy. Right. When you get someone sits, this car is not that much. The other one was much better. Like when I used to, I guess, like that.
Andiamo con il podio di questa gara 2.
Yifei, 3rd place and the championship lead going into Spa in 2 weeks' time. Lucas home in 2nd after the race victory yesterday, and on the top step of the podium, Ben Barnicoat, Carlin Racing's first victory of 2020. Gee, if only they could take those masks off a few moments ago, we could have heard what they were saying, but I guess that would be terribly dangerous, wouldn't it? Nicholas, the top rookie, P4, as well this afternoon. A cracking race here this afternoon in Tuscany, central Italy at Mugello. Ben Barnicoat on debut takes a fabulous victory. Great to have your company. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you at Spa-Francorchamps in 2 weeks' time. 2020 Euroformula Open Championship. See you at Spa.
Now for the photo, please. Thank you and come back again.